Hello, Internet. I'm Corione, your witch in residence. And I've been playing a lot of Helldivers 2 over the last little bit, with new threats to the glory of Super Earth. I sat down and started realizing something about this game. And I read something important that the developer said, that they watch us play the game. And when things happen in game, they become part of the game lore. So, for example, in Helldivers, there is a global screen which shows the galaxy that is defended by Super Earth and what planets humanity controls versus what humanity's enemies control. And by deciding what planet your team is going to go to in an attempt to save, you affect the overall story of the game. An example of this recently was the players were given a choice. They could save a planet that, if they did, would unlock a new in-game weapon that everyone would have access to. Or they could go to this other planet, and in the lore, they would be saving a children's hospital. Nothing else. The players decided that it was more important to save the children's hospital. And you want to know something interesting? The devs decided then that they would make a donation to one of the children's hospitals in Europe as a thank you to the players for choosing the children's hospital option. But it affects the lore in game. Right? It's that the Helldivers went and saved a bunch of kids rather than aggrandize themselves. And after reading this and realizing that nothing done in the game, like any player action, is canon, right? Anything the players do becomes part of the narrative. It got me starting to think about other games that do this. And really, on this scale, there aren't many, but the closest that I come to are tabletop RPGs. And one of the things about all of this is, what it boils down to is something called cooperative storytelling. Now, the idea behind cooperative storytelling is you're working with a group to tell a story. Whether that's a story about a real event that happened from different perspectives, or a completely fictional event where each person adds their own flavor, to, say, a group getting together and deciding that they're going to each be the protagonist of their own story and show how those stories connect together. This is something we have been doing since storytellers got together around a campfire. And it's something primordial, the idea of sharing a story and a narrative together. Okay? And I want you guys to think about that and consider that for a second, because sharing a narrative like that, agreeing to tell a story together, is incredibly powerful. Because when you think about it, it requires you to surrender part of your idea of what the story is going to look like for favor of somebody else's idea of what the story is going to look like. To combine into a unique third story that neither of you would have thought out on your own. Okay? This is a very powerful tool for community building and community togetherness. And things like Dungeons and Dragons or any of the other role-playing game books out there. I personally am a big fan of the game series Pathfinder and Shadowrun, set in two different worlds, because they allow me to tell the kind of stories that I want to tell, right? And they allow me to affect the game world through their actions. I've had my characters start new kingdoms or save crumbling ones. I've had my characters steal precious artifacts from under the nose of corporate security. And all of it adds to the world that we have built up in our play with our players, in their heads. And eventually, we've even written blog entries about that world so that other people can share in it. Finding a group that you can tell a story together with is something unique and special, and it teaches you a lot about cooperation and teamwork and improvisation. And I'm going to say that improv is all about saying yes, okay? Which doesn't always translate to every situation in the real world, obviously, but it does translate in this. You have to accept what everyone else is doing, as that's what they're doing. I've had times where I've had to, turn to a villager we're interacting and say, "You'll have to excuse my friend, he's an idiot," right? And carry on. But those are part of the moments of the humor in a group, right? And you can turn out an amazing story that feels precious to you because you contributed to it. And that contribution, that teamwork, that working together for a shared goal translates into so many other life affirming benefits in the real world, right? It doesn't just have to be something you do on role playing games night. It can be something that you do in a group. It makes you more open to working with and as a member of a team, knowing when it's time to lead and when it's time to say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take a back seat. This other guy has the expertise in this particular style of what we're doing. I'm going to let them do it. And I'm going to sit back and do my part when my time comes. But until then, I'm going to wait. These are critical skills for life. Okay. Everybody hates being in a meeting with that guy who thinks they're the foremost expert on everything. But if we can accept our limitations and say, look, I am really, really good at dealing with the client, but I am terrible at dealing with this section of the tech. So I will wait until it's time for the client response and then I'll write it. When you guys have everything together for me, I'll translate that and put it together, and we'll go over it before we present it to make sure everybody's information is being produced. So what does this do for everybody? It helps you work as a team better. And teamwork, leadership skills, coordination of effort, these are things that right now, these days, are sorely lacking in corporate North America. So maybe we do need to get back to trying to tell a story together around a campfire. Maybe we need to get back to sitting around the kitchen table, eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew while playing Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe we need a few minutes of that in our daily life to remember the importance of learning how to tell a story, how to complete a narrative as a group. I want to thank all my channel members for being so patient with me over the last little bit. It has been crazy here trying to get everything sorted out. I kid you not, over the Christmas break, my car broke down no less than 3 different times. All of the time while dealing with trying to sort out my father in a medical situation. So I really appreciate the kind words you guys have shared. And, all I can say is I have the best community on YouTube. I love you guys. Thank you. With that all in mind, I'm working on some long form content. If you guys have long form ideas that you would like to see me tackle, please let me know. They're going to be part of a new Wednesday show that is going to premiere this upcoming week. My first topic is why I think the Prime Directive in Star Trek is a really bad idea. So stick around for that one. I'm going to try to produce as much evidence as I can And let me know what you think of the longer form shows when they arrive. Guys, thank you so much. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.